Welcome everybody. Today we will be looking at my decently small and still decently good looking fusion setup with an injection rate of 2, because that already produces 200,000 RF per tick and more than you'll ever need. So you need a holorom. I got the fuel, the deuterium and tritium and the injection rate, and we will be turning this thing on after we take a look at the stuff that makes the fuel, which I have to go out here for. This is simply to power the laser, which took about a night to charge up to the right thing after somebody pulled the lever when it was already charged up and kind of shot a hole through the wall, but hey. This one just pumps water in. It has 4 speed upgrades, 8 energy, 1 windmill is enough to power it. Puts water into the first thermal evaporation plant to create brine with a max heat. Pipe just linking the two together. This one makes liquid lithium. Both are 8 tall. Then it goes into a rotary condensator, only one with 4 speed and 8 energy. Everything here has 4 speed upgrades except this thing has 8 and that one has none. This is an electrolytic separator with the Wela being screwed up and whatnot. This is what I'm using to currently power the electrolytic separator, because it requires 360 RF per tick to run, and that is with max energy upgrades, but I don't think the energy upgrades do anything, as a matter of fact. I don't know if that's a glitch. Yeah, it still uses, yeah, you can just take out the energy upgrades, it doesn't do anything. Then we have another pump, but this one's running with 6 speed upgrades, 1 filter upgrade and 8 energy to make heavy water. That's why it's powered by 3 windmills, because it requires 126 RF per tick, and one of these creates about 55 RF per tick. Currently, if you put them higher, they'll make more. Just a simple pipe, and this one then creates the deuterium, which is currently stored in this pipe, because this tank is already full. That's why it's so dull. It's now starting to fill up the universal pressurized tubing, because it has an internal storage buffer, but this one's already done, which is the tritium. And now to heat the thermal evaporation plants, all you do is you put a heat generator, small basic thermodynamic conduit, into that thing. It's more than enough to heat it. I just placed 2 lava to make it look nice, but you can have more, then it'll just heat up quicker. But I built these first, so by the time I was finished they were already at max temperature, and then you don't need to worry about them cooling down during the night. The only thing is, this thing needs sunlight to function, but this thing also has the 8 speed upgrades. This thing doesn't need any upgrades whatsoever. I just power it from this supply here, because you just need this to fill the holoroms, and you just need 10 of each to fill it, but the buffers built up while I was waiting for the laser to charge up. And then I just have the 2 spare tanks, because if it rains it might take longer, but then you can just sleep if you're the only one on the server. But that doesn't happen very often, but then you at least have a buffer to get through the rainy days and nights if it isn't being turned to day via sleeping or by the admin. Now, this is the power output. I'm pretty sure the multi-block structure for a fusion reactor is pretty easy to set up. This is the deuterium and the tritium inputs. The laser right here, I just have to flip the switch to turn it on, or fire the beam. And the controller has to be on the top. Now we have the holorom, we have the injection rate, just double checking everything. And now, if we pull the switch, the fusion reaction did not begin. Are you kidding me? I'm planning on giving up on this thing. It's pretty useless. Why is it not? The case temperature is... Really, I didn't create enough to fire... Okay, well that was lovely. Just, you know. Let's see if we can't heat it up enough. I doubt it. I really do. I've never been able to power it with this method. Yeah, because you're supposed to get it to a certain temperature so it can start a fusion reaction. And this is just Wait, this is million RF. I can pump this directly back into the laser. Okay, now if you have a situation of this, it actually creates power via the heat you gave it from the laser. Yeah, this is actually a very good demonstration of what you can do when stuff like this happens, which is lovely. So, all you need to do, take this, where the hell's our output for the energy? Because it created energy due to the high heat, because it changes heat into energy with the fusion reaction, but that's just to like sustain the heat. But now we can do this to pump power into this thing a lot quicker. Now if you had more lasers this would have also went a lot quicker, but I only made 2. I can probably link the other one up. It's actually a good demonstration. But now all the energy you placed in there, it's not just gone. We're now pulling it back out. If you go here to now to fuel, which one? Heat. Yeah, we got about 130 million RF per tick, and it's because this plasma and heat, the plasma's turned into heat, the case heating, and then this is turned into energy. So all the power you pumped into the thing to try and start it, you can now get out again to do it again, which is a good thing. It isn't just lost, otherwise I would have been very mad. I really thought that was enough. I was able to start it with about that many in testing. I was probably wrong. Now all we need is... what am I looking for? I'm looking for the secondary laser, which I have somewhere in my mess of chests. Really invested in here we go. Yeah. So it's getting power from there, and then the heat that we placed in via the reactor. Or is still being placed in, because these lasers can only transmit a certain amount of RF per tick. So let's just put that there. And now it's sticking up quite fast, because we're using all the energy in the reactor and a bit of spare. But you're gonna need this roughly 400 million RF? I think it's 400 million RF to start the reaction. That's a lot. That's really a lot. Because I think we only had about 200. Maybe 300 you can get away with. I don't really know. Let's see. Statistics each time I click on the wrong thing. Yeah, like we got 160 million RF right here. I think you need 200 million RF to be honest. I think that's why we couldn't get it starting. Because we didn't have enough. Oh. See, I thought one of these like little bars was 100. Like one of these. But apparently they're not. Yeah, so you're gonna at least have to wait to 200 million RF. But don't worry, I'll be back when it's filled up, which will take forever. But hey. And we're back. I'm pretty certain we now have enough. I think we didn't have 200 million RF to start it. I don't know. Let's hope. Actually, no, I'm not certain. Let's change this to megajoules. How much megajoules do we have? Joules. There we go. Let's see. What's this? So we have 500 now. Now, I'm not sure if we need a gigajoule. Let's test. One way to find out. Okay, we need a gigajoule. I'll be back again in a bit. And now that we have 1 gigajoule, we can fire up the reactor. Finally, let's hope it doesn't explode on us. Let's hope we don't have issues. Fire! Brilliant. We have power. Okay, now if we go to storing,
That's fascinating.
yeah, it's producing 146,000 RF per tick, but it's ticking up. And our ultimate energy cube is full. This one was empty when I placed it.
Wait, what?
So, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Thank you for watching. This is Fusion Power with Bob. Bye.